Content factories. Content factories. Content factories are being shouted from all sides. And today, my friends, we will figure it out. What are content factories? We'll find out which content factories work and which don't. My name is Vladimir Kovalev, and I have been in the industry for 18 years. And I can easily distinguish between the content strategies that will work and those that are absolutely useless and not worth your attention, let alone your money and projects. So, my friends, let's take a look and give a bit of background. You see, there are a lot of content strategies that don't yield any results. When someone asks about a content factory, it implies some sort of automation that will lead to an effective mechanism. And the mechanisms I've seen are mostly designed so that a person doesn't fully participate. Something is inserted somewhere. Mostly it's created in bulk, and then a lot of content is generated, which no one checks, no one controls, and it's low-quality content that no one reads. Connections are pessimistic. I will show you a service that allows you to control the entire chain and accordingly create very productive content that will work. Let's register. I am already registered, so let's take an example. I will now open a search. I want to create an article that I will generate and insert into WordPress without knowledge of layout, without programming, without understanding how to write text in detail. I will generate everything, and we will see it all now. I entered it into the search to understand the most important thing, my friends, which structure the article should consist of. I studied this a bit because it is very important that the material we create hits the user's intent precisely and solves their problem. If this doesn't happen, then nothing will work. I'll try to be brief, so I've already memorized this material in advance. I'll insert it into the context. There are a few options here, either insert it as text or as a link. I'll insert it as a link. If it doesn't work, we'll insert it another way because some sites don't allow it. It didn't work for me, so I'll do it this way. This is because some websites don't allow bots to access them, and the service can't get in, so nothing works. Make sure you have a headline at the very beginning. It will work better that way. So everything worked out. Look, there are several statuses here, enabled and disabled. I need it to be enabled. This means you can use multiple contexts, and the platform will use this connection when writing the article. I will choose Model 4. Here I will insert the key query. Here I set the size. I click Generate, and while it generates the structure, the uniqueness of this platform is that it first creates the structure. You then check this structure to see if it meets your expectations. That is, what the final result should be. And then the magic happens and everything happens automatically. That is, if you create the right structure, Google will love it, and it will be interesting. Cut this out. What's going on? Why is it generating in Russian? All right, so from this point, we'll probably start. So we have a structure here. We need to carefully examine this structure. And what does it consist of? Let me tell you how the system automatically shows you what it consists of. So it's like a constructor here. This is the header level, and here the blocks are defined. I'll click Generate. Okay, because I'm basically satisfied with everything, and while it's generating, I'll explain to you how it all works. So, you can set the model here. It's generating now. But if we press the button, we can choose one of these models. There are expensive models and cheap models, and the platform automatically calculates the cost of tokens here. If you look, our token cost is 1 to 20. And here it turns out. So you can check here by clicking on the top up and see how much it costs in your currency. Now, what's happening? Look here. The first block has already been generated. See, this is the block. This is a block with a right side image. So this thing, this tag, you see a tooltip pops up. If you double click, you can see these tag options. This is for convenience. The right side image is specifically generated for your blog, and the context has a very complex structure. And such images are inserted so as not to waste tokens. This is in case you already have, for example, a picture of your equipment and you don't need to generate it. To avoid wasting tokens, placeholder images are used, which you will later replace when you insert your own. There is a default block and a block with a table. Here it often happens with the table, and after the system generates it, we can still edit and insert everything. The beauty is that we can control it. If we don't like the block, we can press this button and it will regenerate the block. So according to the same rules, a new block will simply be regenerated if we use expensive models and if we use promo, kind of your own promo. Here we will neatly add write uniquely, write non-trivially at the end, so you don't need to erase the old part. Just add it here with a comma and you can achieve that you will fully pass on. See that this is really cool. You can here and click here to make some corrections. Here you write some task, for example, to edit the text, add, delete, increase, save, and so on. So you can make any changes here. Note you can use it like a blog. Change, as well as specific text. For example, you can even add a column. And there's also a visual editor. So if we go here, we can double click and type everything like this. You can do anything with colors, highlight text in bold, edit, and so on. Well, most of it was actually recently added to the editor. The real magic happens here. We click the copy button, then go to our CMS and click the Add Post button. And here we copy. Now you see this scary thing, but you shouldn't be afraid of it because it doesn't really concern you. I just copied the title. If the title scares you so much, you can copy it from here because I want to paste it here. And from here I want to delete it so it doesn't duplicate. Well, let's not do anything for now. I'll just save it. So I just inserted it and let's see what happens. Oh, my friends. Isn't this magic? Just look at it. So in any CMS, WordPress, any builders that allow you to insert, you can blog this way, write about products, anything you want. Basically, you get any content very cheaply, relatively speaking, very cheaply. Now I'm going to add a headline here from the code. Just remember how I do this in case you ever need it. And to avoid duplication, because there are two headlines here, one CMS, that's it, my friends, the blog is ready. The reason the text here is much higher quality is because the platform breaks it down into micro tasks and writes the blogs in several stages, then formats them and creates this beauty. So my friends, subscribe, test it out, leave your comments, and see you next time.